So last week's video, I talked about digestive system and what digestion is. This week, I'm going to talk about the microbiome, which is a word that's kind of fun to say. You might not have heard it. Microbiome is the term that we use for all living things on and inside of us. And I'm focusing specifically on our intestinal microbiome since this whole thing is about gut health and digestive issues. So it's kind of creepy to think about, kind of weird, but we've got lots of things living on us and inside of us that are a part of us, different bacteria and things, and all of that together creates kind of its own little ecosystem. And if things are altered or not the way that they should be, that's when problems can occur. So the microbiome in our intestines actually helps to extract nutrients from the food that we aren't able to break down. So indigestible food. They also make they also make short chain fatty acids more available for our bodies. So this is the food that makes up the slimy part of the digestive tract, which actually lubricates and helps protect the walls of the digestive tract. So this is very important that they make these fatty acids because we obviously need a very lubricated system to help things move along. It also, we're talking about the intestinal microbiome, it also helps to protect your body from pathogens, so bad things, and it helps our immune system. Last week I said that 70% of our immune system is in our gut. So it's very important that this area of our body is in tip-top shape. This microbiome is actually passed to infants during vaginal birth, when you have skin-to-skin contact, and when you're breastfeeding. So it's just amazing to me the intricacies of our bodies and how God has designed all of this to be. So if you have a regular birth and you breastfeed and you do skin-to-skin shortly after your child is born, they are inheriting your microbiome, which is pretty amazing. You want to make sure that you are eating lots of different foods and lots of foods that are good for you. You want prebiotic rich foods to eat. So this is the good bacteria. Things like onion and garlic, oatmeal, asparagus, dandelion greens, those weeds in your yard, you can actually use them for lots of health things. Bananas, and then Young Living has something called daily prebiotic fiber. And this is a powder. I really like the flavor. It's called passion fruit flavor, and it supports gut health. You can have this every day. I usually have it like every other day or every couple days, and it just helps to keep things moving, if you will, keep it going the way it's supposed to be going. There's also probiotics. So prebiotics feed the good bacteria, and then probiotics are making sure that you have the good bacteria. This one's for adults. It's called Life 9. You keep it in the fridge after you open it, and it's best to have this at nighttime. This has 17 billion active cultures of good bacteria. So you always want to make sure that you are increasing your good bacteria, right, so that they can fight off the bad bacteria and have that nice little homeostasis balance. There is a probiotic that was designed for kids. It's called KidSense Mighty Pro. We actually don't have any right now. We are focusing on something else with our girls. I try not to overwhelm their system with too many supplements at one time. But the KidSense Mighty Pro is the kids version, and it comes in a little packet, and it actually tastes like pixie sticks. I'm probably dating myself here, but the powder candy that came in the little sticks that you would just pour on your tongue. That's kind of what it reminds me of. My girls love it. I have to keep it out of their reach so they don't have more than one a day when it's in the house. So Life 9 and KidSense Mighty Pro. And I will drop a link in the description with lots of digestive products that I recommend. You also want to make sure you're avoiding processed food. I talked about that in the last video. And you want to avoid antibiotics wherever possible. I read somewhere that it takes 2 years for antibiotics to clear your system. And that's pretty intense. Antibiotics are just what they say. They're not good for bacteria. The problem is they don't differentiate between good bacteria and bad bacteria. So if you're taking them for an extended period of time, you're destroying any bacteria that comes in contact. And when you don't have any bacteria, then you're in a really rough spot and your immune system's pretty shot. So you want to make sure if you have to take an antibiotic that you're supplementing with probiotics at a different time than you're taking your antibiotic. A lot of people have yogurt while they're taking their antibiotic, and you're kind of defeating the purpose there. You want to spread it out a couple hours in between so you're replenishing what the antibiotic is taking out. I hope that made sense. That was a little wordy. All of these things can stress and harm our microbiome. If you're not eating right, if you're not taking care of your body, obviously, just like with any other health video, you want to make sure that you're drinking enough water and you're exercising and you're eating a nice balanced diet, and you're taking care of your mental health and your physical health and your spiritual health and your emotional health. All those things work together. But specifically for your gut, you want to make sure that you are taking in as little processed food as possible and avoiding antibiotics and reducing as much stress as you can, because that can really harm your gut. Stress, let's talk about stress just for a second, because this time of year it just seems to be extra stressful, right? All the holidays and things happening, and maybe you're stressed about shopping for presents or family get-togethers, whatever it is. It just seems like this time of the year just compounds the stress that we already have in our everyday lives. So stress can actually alter your behavior, your mood, your emotions, and your brain, your cognition, which is pretty crazy. And then if you have stress for a long time, they call that chronic stress, it actually increases inflammation in your body, which increases the inflammation in the cells in your intestines, which can actually cause a dis-ease in your intestinal tract. So it's like a disruption for your intestines when you're under lots of stress. And some people can actually feel that. They'll get pains in their stomach when they're really worried or stressed. So obviously you want to reduce your stress whenever you can. I have a video on, or a resource on stress that I will drop in the description just in case you want to go and look into that further. Prolonged stress, that chronic stress, actually can affect the communication between your brain and your gut. So that important highway that's there for the immune system and the communication can actually be affected if you have too much stress in your life. So it's definitely something to look into and be intentional about. Again, not a shaming video, just trying to share some education with you and encourage you to make any change that you can. If your pantry is full of processed foods, maybe stop buying one kind of thing. Maybe look for healthier cereal, or maybe instead of binging on potato chips and pretzels all the time, maybe you want to try dried apples or something like that, or a trail mix that you can make pretty easily. There's lots of different ideas. Just try not to overwhelm yourself. Small steps can make a big impact over time.